2 years after Jungkook left, Taeyong sat on the edge of the bed, buttoning Jinsu's school uniform. His fingers moved on Jinsu's shirt, but his mind was somewhere far away, somewhere with him. Suddenly, his vision blurred with tears. No matter how much time passes, no matter how much he told himself he had moved on, his heart still ached for Jungkook. A single tear slipped down his cheek. Jisoo was watching him closely, immediately wiped it away. Mom, are you crying? Taeyong blinked rapidly, forcing a smile. No, baby, something just got into my eyes. He tried to pretend while touching his eyes. Jinsu tilted his head, unconvinced. If is it because you miss Jungkook, uncle? Taeyong breathed his hands, which was fixing Jinsu's, froze in place. Slowly, he looked up at his son. Who told you? Jinsu pouted slightly. No one told me, I just know. Taeyong swallowed hard. And why do you think that? Jinsu hesitated for a second before softly saying, because you are my mother. Taeyong felt something deep inside him crack. Jinsu reached out, placing a small hand over Taeyong's heart. I know you have a special spot for Jungkook uncle here. Those words felt like a punch to Taeyong's chest. Taeyong chuckled, ruffling Jinsu's hair. Oh, and what makes you say that? Jinsu looked down, playing with the hem of his uniform. Because at night I hear you. Taeyong's heart stopped. I hear you crying in your sleep, mother. He looked up at his mom. And every time you whispered only one name, Jungkook. Taeyong's entire body went numb. No matter how much he had tried to breathe Jungkook's name, his pain, even his sleep, he couldn't escape it. Taeyong's breath issued. Jinsu's small, firm hand still rested over his chest, right above his heart, the place where Jungkook's name had never faded. The room was silent except for the faint sound of the clock ticking. Taeyong tried to compose himself, swallowing the lump in his throat. Taeyong, Jinsu, you are imagining things. He forced a small smile, gently fixing his son's collar. You must have been dreaming. Jinsu stares at him unconvinced. No, I wasn't. Taeyong's finger buzzed. Jinsu took a deep breath before whispering, You always say his name, mother. Taeyong was shocked to how confident Jinsu looked. Jinsu looked down at his hand. If you don't miss him, then why do you cry for him at night? Taeyong's lips trembled because no matter how much he had tried to hide it from his son, had already noticed it. Taeyong let out a shaky breath and cupped Jinsu's small face gently. You don't have to worry about me, sweetheart, Jinsu. But I want to, Mom. Taeyong felt his heart shake at those words. Jinsu was still so young, yet he understood far too much. Taeyong forced another smile, pressing a kiss on his forehead. I'm okay, baby. Jinsu still didn't look convinced, but he nodded slowly. Okay. But Mom, don't cry at night alone. If you feel like crying, remember, your son is always here for you. You are not alone. And I hope one day my father will return and he will never let you cry. But one thing I do understand. Why do you cry for Jungkook, uncle? Why did you scold him that day in the meeting room? Why you behaved rude toward him? Taeyong couldn't answer. What will he answer? That Jinsu, he is your dad? No, that's not possible. Jinsu will break down if he knows the truth now. So it's better to not reveal the truth until Jungkook wants himself to. He smiled sadly and ravished Jinsu's small hand, pulling him closer. So, baby, I can't answer you now, but one day I'm sure you will get all your answers. But till then, focus on your studies. So, when you meet your dad, I can proudly tell him our son got highest marks. The first rank, Jinsu smiles at the mention of meeting his father. Gosh, he has been waiting for that day to meet his father. I will study hard, Mom, but you promise me too that you will not cry again. And if you find difficulties to sleep, you can come to my room, hug me, and sleep beside me, okay? Taeyong smiled and nodded. Jinsu bit his lip before saying softly, I have never seen my dad, but when I saw Jungkook uncle, I thought my father must be like him. I miss Jungkook uncle too. He is just like my father to me. Taeyong breathed cog in his throat. How do you know him that much? Jinsu panicked. Actually, mom, that day after the meeting, when you lived with some people, me and Shankuk uncle played a little. He actually bought me toys too. Tong says went quiet. Did he eat that day? Jinsu acted to remember. Not really. Actually, we sat in the cafe and I ate. I told him to eat, but he said he is full. And seeing me eating, he got full. Tong was shocked to hear that. Did he really say that? Jinsu nodded. He said he always wanted a kid like me, but he got a kid who doesn't listen to him. A mannerless one. I told him all the ladies around him are mannerless. So why wouldn't his daughter be? Tong face palmed himself. Oh gosh, you shouldn't have been this straightforward, baby. Jinsu frowned. Why? What's wrong? I said. Didn't I say the truth? I met his wife in the hospital with Uni. She was the arrogant one. Then we met his mother and I did not like her a bit. The way she talked at you, I was frustrated. Jinsu made angry face. I feel like why can't I just kill her? No, one can talk to my mother like that. Tong goes at him. Jinsu baby, you're too young to talk about murder. Jinsu arches his brows. I'm not little. I can murder anyone who will try to bully my mother. I'm strong, see? Jinsu showed his biceps. I'm strong. I can fight for you. Tong laughed, wiping his tears. He lowered Jinsu's hand and cupid his face. I understand my strong bunny. Now can we go to school? Jinsu looked up at him with wide innocent eyes. Do you think he must miss us too? Tong didn't have the answer. Again? Why suddenly you are remembering him only, Jinsu? Jinsu, just tell me, mom. Do you think he misses too? Tong forced a smile. I'm sure he does, baby. Jinsu's brightening for a second before he tilted his head. Then why didn't he come back? Tong shakes his chest. Because he hesitated, choosing his words carefully. Sometimes people need to find themselves before they return to the one they love it. Jinsu frowned slightly. It's been 2 years. Tong let out a soft sugar, running his finger through Jinsu's hair. You are really growing up too fast. You know that? Jinsu pulled out his cheek. That's because I have to take care of you too. Tong chuckled, but he knows that's the truth. He has been pretending to be strong, but his son saw the side which he himself wasn't aware of. Jinsu tugged up Tong's sleeves. Mother, can I ask you something? Tong, of course. What is it? Jinsu hesitated before whispering. Can we go find Shankuk uncle? Tong's heart skipped a bit. He shouldn't have accepted it. Jinsu had always been curious about his father, but still he wasn't ready for the question. Tong swallowed, his fingers tightening around the fabric of Jinsu's blazer. Maybe Shankuk is far away. We don't even know where he is. Jinsu pouted, eyes becoming numb. But if we try, we can find him. Tong tried to fight back his own tears because deep down a part of him wanted to find Shankuk too, to ask him if he was happy, to ask him if he ever regretted living, to ask him if he still loved him. But instead, he smiled softly, tucking a strand of Jinsu's hair behind his ear. Maybe one day, sweetheart. Jinsu looked up at him hopefully. Promise? Tong's chest felt heavy as he whispered, Promise. Shankuk stood on the balcony of the luxurious water villa of Fiji. The scenery from the balcony is too beautiful. His painting set up in front of him, capturing the mesmerizing views. His brush moved effortlessly across the canvas, as if his heart was guiding him. Just then, a familiar voice asked him, Shankuk sir, I still don't understand why you are practicing in this competition. Shankuk smirked slightly, not taking his eyes off his painting. Why? Don't you believe me? I can win. His manager, Rain, a young boy in his early 20s, flushed slightly, shaking his head. No, that's not what I mean, sir. He's stepping closer, watching Shankuk's mirror gliding across the canvas. You have already made a name for yourself in the painting world. You don't need to prove anything anymore. Shankuk finally paused, looking at Rain with a small knowing smile. It's not about proving anything. He turned it back to his work. to come here, I feel like something good is going to happen. Rain watched Shankuk carefully, admiring in his eyes. He had seen many artists before, but none like Shankuk. There was something about him, his presence, his passion, his ability to pour his soul into every stroke of paint, and without realizing it, Rain had developed a spot for him. But he knew his feeling could never reach Shankuk because every time Shankuk painted, he painted as if he were waiting for someone, as if his heart still belongs to a person he couldn't forget. Rain bit his lip, forcing a smile. Then I hope your instincts are right, sir. Jungkook nodded, his gaze drifting toward the ocean, because deep down he felt it too. Something was about to change, and for the first time in the year, his heart beat with anticipation. Rain stopped in front of Jungkook, blocking his view of the ocean. His arms were crossed. Jungkook, sir, you have been painting all day. Come, eat something, you will collapse at this rate. Jungkook shook like shaking his head. Just a little more, Rain. I am almost done. Rain sighed but didn't move. She always said that. Jungkook was about to protest when something caught his attention. A smudged blue paint right on Rain's nose. Without thinking, Jungkook reached out, wiping the paint away with his little finger. You got some paint here. He was unaware of the effect he was having on Rain, but Rain froze. His breath issued and his cheeks turned a deep shade of pink. Jungkook's touch was soft, unbothering, but the rain it was enough to send butterflies fluttering wildly in his stomach. His heart pounded so badly he was sure Jungkook could hear it, but before Rain could say anything, Jungkook pulled back, completely unaware. Can you bring me some new paint from the drawer? Jungkook asked, his attention already back on his painting. Rain nodded quickly, trying to calm his racing heart. Of course, sir. He turned it and walked toward the desk, opening the drawer. His instincts of finding paint. His eyes landed on the something unexpected. A paper. At first he wasn't going to look, but then his hands caught the hood was painted on the top. His eyes widened. There was agreement. Rain fingers tightened around the edge of the drawer. There was, but with whom? His mind wrestled with questions. Before he could react further, Jungkook's voice snapped him out of his daze. Jungkook, did you find it? Rain quickly grabbed the paint, shoving the papers back in the place and turning around with a forced smile. Yeah, here you go. Jungkook took the paint without noticing Rain's shaken expression. But inside, Rain wasn't calm because now he had a secret and he needed to know the truth. Mrs. Yeon stood behind the counter. She forced it into a professional smile. Mrs. Yeon, who had spent her entire life commanding power and respect, now she was nothing more than a saleswoman working for vintage jewelry as it was her promise. She met on the award ceremony day. Mrs. Yeon, Madam, this is our latest collection, she said, pretending the tray is design necklace and ring. They are handcrafted by our finest designers. The client, a rich arrogant woman with her equally arrogant husband, barely glanced at the piece. Instead, she picked up a necklace and scoffed. Is this the best you have? Mrs. Yeon felt her blood run boiled, but she kept her composure. This is one of our expensive design, madam. It is quite popular. Woman, popular? The woman laughed mockingly. I don't want something popular. I want something that isn't worn by every desperate social in town. Her husband smirked. She's right. This place has nothing better to offer us. Mrs. Yeon's fingers curled into slightly against the tray. I assure you, our brand maintains the highest standard, madam. The woman's eyes filled with irritation. Who even are you to assure me anything? Mrs. Yeon's lips pressed into a thin line. I am Jeon. The couple exchanged a look before bursting out laughter. And we are supposed to know you. I don't care who you are. All I see is a arrogant woman trying to act like she's important. Mrs. Yeon's face turned red with humiliation. You don't know who I am? The husband rolled his eyes. And we don't need to know. But what we need is better service. Your attitude is disgusting. His wife scoffed. You are right. Violet complained. Let's see if you are still standing here by tomorrow. With that, the couple turned on their heels and walked out of the store, leaving Mrs. Yon standing there completely humiliated. For the first time in her life, she was powerless. The couple went to the lobby, calling for the manager, while a woman wiped her fake tears. The wife sighed dramatically. We were just looking for jewelry, and this woman treated us so rudely. She insulted us and acted like she was above us. Unluckily or luckily, you can say. But Juno and Thong was in the store today, and they saw the woman rushing toward them. Her husband nodded firmly. She even spoke to us in an arrogant tone, as if we weren't important enough to be in the store. Juno's face remained neutral, but Thong smirked. He crossed his arms, tilting his head slightly. Oh, his voice was acid with amusement. That sounds horrible. Mrs. Yuan gritted her teeth. Thong was enjoying this. His wife placed her hand over her chest. I mean, how could you hire such a disrespected woman? The husband coughed. Honestly, with someone like her working here, it makes us question the reputation of vintage jewelry. Juno's expression finally shifted. His sharp eyes looked at Mrs. Yuan. That's a very serious accusation. Mrs. Yuan held her breath. Thong took a slow step forward. His eyes locked into Mrs. Yuan's face. And what exactly did she say to you? The wife quickly regained her composure. She said we weren't worthy of wearing those pieces, that we weren't rich enough to afford them. Mrs. Yuan's eyes widened slightly. That's not true. The husband ignored her, and she even told us that we were beneath her. Can you imagine a mere saleswoman talking to us like that? Thong let out a small hum. I see, the wife said. Then we asked her to bring something to drink. She said she will not. We don't deserve that treatment. Thong. He turned to Mrs. Yuan for a moment. He simply stared at Mrs. Yuan. Stomach crunch. She could see it in his eyes, burning, because now the power has shifted. Thong, the same boy who had humiliated, insulted, and separated from her son, was now standing firm, deciding her fate, and now she was in his mercy. Mrs. Yuan felt her stomach drop and Thong's smirk deepened. He turned and declared, was smooth and glanced with amusement. Shall we show her please? Then the client nodded. Of course, she deserved to get punished. How can she act like that with a high-profile people? She is nothing. She should know that. Juno stays silent, watching carefully. He knows this is personal. Thong picked a steaming cup of coffee from the counter. Without hesitation, he dripped it toward, letting the dark liquid spill onto his expensive designer shoe. Gas requires to restore. Mrs. Yuan's eyes widened in disbelief. You? She started, but Thong's sharp voice cut her off. Wipe it. She blinked stunned. What? Thong's gaze turned colder. Wipe it with your scarf now. The wife giggled behind her hand, whispering her husband, Oh, this is getting interesting. Mrs. Yuan felt her blood boil. Her hands trembled in rage. I am not some servant. Aren't you? Thong tilted his head. His voice mocking her. Isn't that what you do here? Serve command. Then why did you face suddenly? Where did that arrogant in you return it back? Mrs. Yuan lips trembled in humiliation. The customer, the staff, even her arrogant accusers, all of them were watching. But what choice did she have? She had no power here, no control, not anymore. Gritting her teeth, she slowly removed the scarf on her neck, hands shaking in rage. She bent down, pressing the fabric against her shoe, wiping the spilled coffee. Humiliation burned into her chest. She was once the proud matriarch of the Yuan family, once the woman who controlled Jerusalem, was now on her knees, wiping the shoe of the man she had once called unworthy. Thong watched her with the cold expression. It wasn't about disrespecting an elder. Mrs. Yuan had long lost the right to his respect. This was about punishment for streaming his love, controlling Jungkook like a dog in a leash, and running a beautiful life they could have had. As she finished wiping, her hands clenched the scarf so tightly, her knuckles turning white. Thong leaned down slightly, whispering in her How does it feel, Mrs. Yon? His voice was soft, doubting. To finally be beneath me? Mrs. Yon squeezed her eyes shut, swallowing her pride. She had lost completely. Mrs. Young's finger trembling as she clenched this tiny scarf in her hand. Humiliation burned in her chest, her pride crumbling before her every eyes. She had always stood above others, controlling, commanding, making people kneel before her, but now she was even kneeling. She slowly stood up, her face red with anger and shame. Dong watched her with cold amusement, crossing his arms. You should thank me, at least now. You know what it feels like to serve someone properly? Mrs. Yon gritted her teeth, her nails sticking into her palm. You think this means you have won? She said bitterly. Thong let out a soft chuckle, tilting his head. Haven't I? Mrs. Yon fuming. But before she could lash out, Shunu spoke. Mrs. Yon? She shifted, her head snapping toward him. As CEO, I cannot ignore customer complaints. Mrs. Yon, you are not seriously listening to those fools, are you? Shunu sighed, shaking his head. It doesn't matter if their story is true or not. He glanced at the wealthy couple, who looked smug as they watched the scene unfold. What matters is you caused a commotion in the store, and that alone is unacceptable. So, from next time, expect better from you, otherwise, I will have to fire you. Mrs. Yon felt rage. You can't fire me. She was shocked because right now this is her only way to eat or live. Otherwise, she will have to beg on the road for money. Dong was amused. Why not? Her eyes snapped to him, burning with hatred, because I am Shankuk's mother. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Dong let out a small bitter laugh. And what does that have to do with anything? Mrs. Yon flinched slightly, but she masked it with anger. You know better. Shunu saw her rubbing his temple. Mrs. Yon, you were hired as a regular employee. Your personal connections have no weight here. Her breath issued. Dong leaned in slightly, lowering his voice for her. Your son isn't here to save you anymore, Mrs. Yon. His lips curled into smirk. You lost that privilege the day you lost him. Dong word hit her like a slap, because deep down she knew he was right. She had lost Sanko. She had lost her power, and now she had lost everything. Her voice shook. I should regret this, Kim Thong. Thong smashed. I already regretted not doing it sooner. Mrs. Yon stood there, breathless, having hands trembling, and then she turned it on her heel and stormed out of the store. She had a scarf clenched in her fist. The once powerful matriarch of the Yon family, now nothing more than a fallen woman. Mrs. Yon stormed out of the vintage jewelry store, her vision blurred. Through humiliation, her heart pounding violently against her chest. Dong had humiliated her, made her kneel, stripping away the last shred of power she had left, and now she had nothing. She walked onto the busy road outside, ignoring the loud horns of the car and the look of the passerby face. She had spent years building the name of herself, and now she was a joke, a disgrace. Her lips trembled as she stared up at the car, and she laughed. Then she took a step forward onto the road, straight in front of the coming truck. The loud screech of brakes filled the air, followed by the thud, gasped up in the people on the street. Mrs. Yon's body hit the ground harshly, her limbs lifeless, blood staining the road. The crowd gathered instantly, whispering, and people started calling for the ambulance. Hours later, the news broke into the social media exploded. The incident was caught on camera, but more than the incident, except the video of her evolution inside the vintage store had gone viral. People saw Thong pouring coffee on his shoe, saw Mrs. Yon bending, forced to kneel and wipe it. As soon, internet took side. Some people defending Thong, calling it karma for Mrs. Yon's past action, but many others turned it against him. How could he do that to older woman, no matter what she did in the past? This was too cruel. Kim Thong is nothing but an arrogant businessman who disrespects elders. She is in the hospital because of him. The clash grew worse by the hours. Reporters went to the hospital demanding statement when they heard his reputation was suddenly in danger. And Taeyong, the man who had worked so hard building himself up, was now being torn apart by those who once loved his brand. Taeyong sat on the cold hospital bench, his hand covering his face in silence. He was filled. Everything felt like nightmare. The air was heavy, suffocating, filled with the whispers of nurses and reporters waiting outside the hospital. Hyunwoo crouches in front of him, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. Taeyong, stop this. You are running yourself. Taeyong shook his head, his fingers sticking into his temple. Because of me, your reputation is going down. Because of me, you know. You know, this isn't about my reputation. Hyunwoo cuts him off, frustrated. You think I care about this right now? Hyunwoo exhaled, trying to stay patient. This is exactly what she wanted. Taeyong, she wanted to bring you down, and you are letting her win by breaking like this. Taeyong bit his trembling lip, shaking his head. That's not why I am crying. Hyunwoo frowned. Then why? Taeyong slowly lifted his head, his eyes red and filled with fear. She is Jungkook's mother, and I don't know how he's going to react. Hyunwoo didn't know it was about Jungkook. Taeyong wiped his tears aggressively, his hand shaking. What if he hates me now? What if he never? He couldn't even finish his sentence. The idea of losing Jungkook completely, of being the reason of his pain, made his heart ache painfully. Hyunwoo sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. Then you should prepare yourself, because if Jungkook sees the news, he will come. Taeyong just tightened because deep down he already knew that, and that's what scared him the most. And believe me, he won't be mad at you. Rain sat in front of the laptop, sorting through Jungkook email, checking new offers and days for his painting. Everything was good until he noticed an unfamiliar email. There was no name, no official sender, just an anonymous address. Rain hesitated before clicking it. As soon as the email opened, his breath caught in his throat. A news article flashes on the screen. Cheon Corporation former merchant hospitalized after public emulation. Kim Taeyong involved. Accompanying the article was the viral video Mrs. Yeon kneeling and Foon Tisto wiping Taeyong's shoe with her scarf. Rain's eyes widened in shock. He scrolled further. The article detailed how, after being inserted, Mrs. Yeon had thrown herself in front of the truck. Her condition was critical. Rain's hand shook as he grabbed his phone, immediately dialing Jungkook. The call connected with second. Rain? Jungkook asked. Rain swallowed hard. Jungkook saw, you need to see this. He quickly forwarded the email. There was a long silence. Then the sound something shattering on the ground. Jungkook sir, Rain called his assertion. Jungkook breathing was heavy on the other end. Then finally his voice came. Book the earliest flight to Seoul. Rain's stomach twisted. Sir, the competition. Jungkook, now Rain. Jungkook snapped in, his voice filled with something Rain had never heard before. Pure, raw panic. Rain jumped to his feet, his heart pounding, because he knew this wasn't just about Mrs. Yeon's condition. This was about Taeyong, and the moment Jungkook landed in Seoul, everything would change.